Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am S. Prabhakar from the Delhi Entertainer. Today, I'll be discussing about the sterile vapor leak in LG Polymer plant of Visakhapatnam and the arrests which have taken place yesterday. The Chief Executive Officer, Technical Director Operations, both Korean nationals, Additional Director and 9 other officials of LG Polymer were arrested on 7th of July in connection with the sterile vapor leak at the company's plant in Visakhapatnam. The Pollution Control Board has also suspended 3 of its officials for gross negligence. As you know, 2 months back, at least 12 people were killed and over 200 people were hospitalized in this incident. Fortunately, the factory is in a small and thinly populated village near Visakhapatnam, and the quantity of gas released was moderate. Moreover, when the gas released and people started falling on the road and other villagers rushed out of their houses, took cars, autos, tempos and whatever means of transport they could get and rushed out of the village. It was reported that many youth of the village carried old people on their shoulders and rushed out of the village. Because of the moderate quantity of the gas released, it didn't spread to other villages nearby, and because of all these factors put together, the figures are still very less. Otherwise, this could have been a major tragedy. Andhra Pradesh government has appointed a high-powered committee to go into the investigation of this incident, and the committee in its interim report has found that the accident has occurred due to uncontrolled sterile vapor release from one of the tanks of the factory. The temperature in the tank rose substantially. The rise in the temperature caused the sterile liquid to eventually vaporize and get released from the tank in open. The poor design of the tank, inadequate refrigeration and faulty cooling system, absence of circulation and mixing system and poor safety protocols led to the disaster, causing loss of lives. Employees were not aware about the chemical properties of the sterile, especially during storage conditions. The worst part was that during the emergency alarm system was not used at the plant after the leak also. Using the alarm should have alerted the people in the near vicinity to rush away from the place. There was a total breakdown of emergency response procedures in the plant that resulted in this grave tragedy. The important things which came out of the above findings is the environmental clearances were not in place for operation as well as enhancing of the capacity of the project. Safety protocols were not in place and alarms did not ring where there was increase in the temperature. Employees were not properly educated or trained in the safety norms. to such an extent that even after the incident, sirens did not blare, warning the villages nearby. The inspection teams of pollution board seems to have compromised their roles, and also the factory inspectors also have not conducted the inspection of the factories properly. The committee in its interim report has recommended filing cases against the directors and managers of the company, shutting the factory down or shifting it outside that village, which is now very nearby Visakhapatnam, and converting the factory into a non-polluting unit. Cases under section 338, 2985, 278 have been filed against the company and its officials. Cases under section 284 and 337 of the IPC are filed against the authorities who are responsible for inspection also. As I said, the Pollution Control Board has suspended the environmental engineer and an officer from the zonal office for their gross negligence in allowing the operations and expansion of the plant without environment clearances. This is a serious breach on the part of the Pollution Control Board officials. The Pollution Board officials, the factory inspectors and other officials who are responsible for the inspection and giving licenses and renewing the licenses are equally responsible as the owners of the factory, and they should also have been arrested along with the officials of the company. Now, this case is a fit case for absolute liability. Since LG Polymer is involved in hazardous and inherently dangerous activities, it should also attract the tortious liability of absolute liability. As per this liability, extent of the damage to be awarded to the victims depends on the magnitude and financial capability of the company. Supreme Court in many previous cases has contended that the enterprise must be held absolutely liable to compensate for any damage caused, and no opportunity should be given to the enterprise to say that it has taken all reasonable care and that harm has caused without any negligence on its part. But of course, as per the preliminary report, at least it seems there is a negligence on the part of the company and its officials. Even going forward, if they succeed in defending their claims or case in the courts because of this particular clause and the Supreme Court judgments in various cases of such nature, because of the hazardous nature of the activities involving gases, absolute liability should be fastened on the company. After Bhopal gas tragedy, which is one of the world's most disastrous accidents which have taken place, claiming lives of more than 4,000 people, lot of acts have been enacted by the Indian government towards ensuring industrial safety. Few of the acts are the Environmental Protection Act enacted in 1986, the Public Liability Insurance Act, Chemical Accidents Emergency Planning, Preparedness and Response Rules, which addresses gas leaks and similar events, and even Factories Act has been amended to include list of hazardous industries. But unfortunately, of Bhopal gas tragedy also, there are many instances happened where we found that negligence is there on the part of the companies running these hazardous industries, including this LG Polymer case. And all these cases should be very, very sternly handled so that such tragedies don't recur in future. That's all for now. I'm Prabhakar, signing off.